What is an essential, not so obvious skill in life? Knowing when to shut up. Edit, oh my gosh. Didn't think this comment would get so much love. Thank you guys for all the silver and gold. Just being reliable. It's amazing how far you can get professionally and in relationships by being the person people feel like they can genuinely depend on. So many are flakes. I moved in with my roommates after hanging out only a couple of times. When we sat down to talk living styles and logistics, they said one of the biggest reasons they felt secure in living with me was that each time we hung out, I arrived when I said I would, and the one time I was running late, I texted to tell them how much longer I would be, and then was there at that time. A former manager asked me to move in with him after I hit a rough patch and was without home. Integrity goes a long way. Integrity goes a long way. 1. If you have integrity, nothing else matters. 2. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. Being gracious when someone is better than you at your thing. This is really difficult, but yes. Switch into a learning mode quickly, if applicable. To be able to read the room you are in. Edit, wow, this blew up, thanks for the silver and the gold, strangers. I really appreciate it. D. Knowing how to pick your battles. Some fights just aren't worth having, either because the reward isn't worth the effort, or you can't win, even when you're 100% right. Sometimes you need to take less than what you want and move forward from there. Going even a little deeper than that, learning how insignificant most things are. The death of a loved one, some pending life event, sure that takes time and energy and active attention to process and move past, live with. But some of the stuff that we let affect us on a daily, weekly and monthly basis, ends up just being no more than a blip on the radar in 3 years, and something you don't remember past 10. Stuff going on at work, argument with a friend or siblings, car accident, etc. We let this stuff steal valuable time and energy from us when it's hardly something we'll think about in a few years. In the moment, in the present, it's difficult to view these things as what they are. But you can train yourself to respond to, oh my god, everything's ducked up? With yeah, but does it really matter? I usually do this by asking myself, what is the absolute worst case scenario here? The answer to this usually is not half as bad as your brain tricks you into feeling. It just takes consistency and practice. It will save years of life in stress and preserve relationships, and allow you to be more content. Super valuable skill, not something we talked about enough. I live by a 7/7s rule. Thank you Uojudu for the name idea. D. When something happens, go like this, dash will it matter in 7 seconds? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 minutes? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 hours? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 days? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 weeks? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 months? Dash if so, dash will it matter in 7 years? When you sit down and rationalize it, you'll notice that the overwhelming majority of things doesn't even pass the 7-hour mark, much less 7 days. I think the name 7,777,777 isn't so catchy, maybe 7 sevens? No matter the name, it's a great rule. That's a fantastic name. Definitely gonna use that from now on. Knowing how to fail. By that I mean failing, and not letting it break you, or throwing a tantrum. Also, knowing that failing at something doesn't make you a failure, if that makes sense. Highly underrated ability here. I see college kids all the time who live in fear of failing and who go to pieces when it inevitably happens. Allowing yourself to say I don't know and I've changed my mind, rather than either making things up that you hope are right or doggedly defending a position in the face of changing evidence. Edit, I would also add that another related skill in life is being able to accept both of those phrases when another says them to you. Edit 2, by the way, I first heard it phrased this precise way in a song called Get It Right by Frank Turner, felt like giving credit where it's due. Admit when you're wrong, take responsibility for your actions and apologize, if necessary. Relaxing in traffic. It's going to happen, you're going to be stuck in traffic. Honking and flailing and freaking out and changing lanes 6 times to get 1 or 2 car lengths ahead doesn't help anything. Learn how to patiently wait. I listen to audiobooks and actually look forward to my commute home. Having a sense of humor. I find it useful for when things go terribly wrong and/or ironically wrong. I'm pretty convinced that there are some people who just fully lack a sense of humor. Like it's a congenital defect or something, Like being born with a tail or extra fingers. I'm not an expert, but it's really the only thing I can think of to explain these people. They're the sort who laugh with the laugh tracks on sitcoms, but don't really understand why they're laughing. Like my friend who says he has no appreciation whatsoever of music. I just can't fathom it. He said doesn't make him feel anything. He just didn't come with our whole friendship group to a New Year's festival, even though music wasn't the only part of it. I was at a party once and it was the first time I had ever met my friend's girlfriend. She seemed cool and we were talking for a while when she says, "Do you like music?" And I answered, "Yeah. I love indie alternative mostly, but I'm also into classic rock." And she said, "Oh, I don't really like music, but sometimes on really long drives I'll listen to that Celine Dion song from Titanic." So weird. Admitting a mistake. Active listening. Can you please tell me more about that? Edit, I was trying to show a way you could help someone expand and elaborate on a subject. But thank you all for telling me more about active listening. Makes eye contact and nods in agreement. Makes nod contact and eyes in agreement. Am I doing it right? So you headbutted them then rolled your eyes up and down like you're crazy? Yep, sounds right to me. Of course not. I pressed my forehead against theirs and sternly stared into their soul to let them know I agree with them. Tact. If a message needs to be transmitted, but you piss someone off with how you do it, they're no longer listening to what you say, just how you're saying it. As a lifelong 40-year-old blunt speaker, I still struggle with this. My entire professional career has been military and law enforcement, which are two professions that are slightly accommodating of this, but I still have to talk to myself in my head before I open my mouth in mixed company. I read somewhere, probably here on Reddit, that people won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And if you think back to a negative interaction with someone, it's true. You won't remember word for word what they said and it won't even matter. You know that what they said made you feel angry, uncomfortable, upset. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. I learned this from Craig Ferguson. Less of a skill and more of a realization. Does this have to be said? Does this have to be said by me? Does this have to be said by me now? Try to follow that rule and you'll avoid many pointless fights, soured friendships and blank stares. Edit, Jesus skateboarding Christ, I just woke up and it seems my little comment gathered a few more replies than I was expecting. Thank you for the gold, kind internet strangers. Knowing how to cook. It's not very feasible to live off of instant food and eating out can be expensive. It can also lead to a healthier lifestyle and you have more control over what goes into your meals. I personally believe cooking for yourself is the healthiest change you can make. Absolutely, no matter how much butter you think is too much in that pot of broccoli, I promise it's less than what the restaurant put in it. Is that a challenge? I personally think of it as an invitation. Someone get Paula Deen in here. Whisper the N-word 3 times into a brick of butter and she appears. This is the first time I've laughed all day, thanks. Being okay with being alone. Edit, I did not think this would get so many responses. And to add, thank you for the gold and silver kind Redditors. To add to my initial statement, being alone is one of the most important life skills you can ever have. Because when you surround yourself with people constantly jump from one relationship to another, it's easy to lose yourself trying to please or fix someone else. When you are alone, you start to understand yourself more, start doing things you enjoy as there is no one else to please, laugh a little harder at movies because there is no judgment, and you really tap into parts of you that make you understand that pleasing someone else at your own expense is not worth it at all. Does it get lonely? Absolutely. But when you are willing to move away from the comfort zone of solitude and spend time with people or make an effort in a relationship, you know it's real, because there is nothing those people can give you that you don't give yourself already. #X200B, edit 2, thanks for the cake day wishes everyone. Yes, this. Definitely a difference between being alone and being lonely. Everyone needs to be comfortable with being alone.